John Lennon, a 20th century legend, is remembered not just for his music, but also for his social activism and tragic death. He was a man of many layers, from his meteoric rise to fame with the Beatles to his solo career, full of contradictions and challenges. In this video, we will explore his legacy but also the shadows that followed him throughout his life. John Winston Lennon was born on the 9th of October 1940 in Liverpool, England. From an early age, music became his refuge. In 1957, Lennon met Paul McCartney, and together they formed the Beatles. Along with George Harrison and Ringo Starr, they redefined rock and roll and the youth culture of the 60s. Later, after the Beatles disbanded in 1970, Lennon began a solo career, marked by his dedication to social causes. He released the song Imagine, which became a universal anthem for peace. Its lyrics speaks of a world without borders, without divisions by religion, and without war. A key influence during this phase of his life was his wife, the Japanese artist Yoko Ono. Their relationship was not without controversy. Many fans even blamed Yoko for the breakup of the band, but the truth was far more complex. Meanwhile, Lennon's outspoken stance against the Vietnam War and his support of radical movements put him in the crosshairs of President Nixon. In 1972, efforts were made to deport him, citing his prior drug conviction as grounds for ineligibility to remain in the country. However, many believed the real reason was his activism. On December 8, 1980, the world was stunned when John Lennon was murdered by Mark David Chapman outside his home at the Dakota Building in New York. Chapman, a disturbed fan, had asked for Lennon's autograph just hours before attacking him. Lennon lost his life at the age of 40. His death left a deep void in music and popular culture. While millions around the world mourned his loss, they also celebrated his life and message of peace. Today, more than 40 years after his death, John Lennon's legacy lives on, echoing every time the world faces moments of tension and conflict. His life also reminds us that behind the public figure, there is a complex human being, with shadows and contradictions. John Lennon was many things: a musical genius, a tireless activist, but also an imperfect man. Perhaps that is why his story continues to captivate us.